and welcome to another Teacher's Corner playthrough. You'll notice I'm still in space. I have turned in some duty officer missions and I have made it to level 49. Wow. Because of this, I do have some space skill points to spend as well as a ground skill point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You'll notice we have 22 points in science already. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure we get with our space points. I'm going to make sure that we get that science ultimate. I'm going to go ahead and go for a little extra tankiness, and I'm going to go for shield mastery. Okay, and now this gives me the science ultimate. I do want to make sure I have at least 1 point to get the adaptation, which is going to be probability window. This doubles the duration from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. So I'm going to make sure I click that probability window and unlock yes. Okay, so now it will last for 30 seconds when I use it. Okay, and moving right along. I'm also going to, I have 4 points left. I'm going to make sure that I purchase hull penetration. I want my weapons to penetrate the hull quickly, so I'm going to do that. I'm not going to purchase the shield weakening because shields tend to go down pretty quickly. I'm not terribly worried about that. I am going to, with my last point, purchase warp core potential. This will give me a little extra power to all of my subsystems. So I'm going to purchase that. There we go. And that is my final purchase there. Alright, and ground spec point, and I'm going to purchase Kit Performance Master, so this will make my kit skills go a little better. And I'm going to do Overwatch 3 rather than Stealth Module for my training. Alright, I will be getting eventually 1 more ground point. When I get that, I'll be filling out the improved kit efficiency. And there we go. So this is my current spec. You can see not a lot in engineering, only 7 points, 25 so far in science, and 13 in tactical. Alright, so we are level 49, as I said, because of the duty officer missions, and I'm now going to do the next mission on my list, Temporal Ambassador. This is the first of the special missions where you have this was a featured episode. You do have a new starship that you end up getting awarded after playing this episode. You do end up being put in the starship for a portion of this episode, and it is the first episode you encounter. The jingle jingle behind me is my dog deciding he wanted to jump down off the back of my chair. It is also the first episode in the STO where you have to play it alone. It is a solo only mission. Okay? So you are not able to bring your friends along.
Anomaly in the Azure Nebula. Because of the Tholian activity in that area, we're concerned that they may be attempting to open a rift to the mirror universe. I need a ship to go out there and check it out.
So it says this mission can only be completed as a single player. You cannot bring any friends along. Go to the Azure Nebula, which is located in the Beta Quadrant, and investigate an anomaly. And again, 2.5 times XP, so we'll get a large amount of experience points, a large amount of expertise. We will be getting, because we are Federation aligned, we will be getting a special requisition pack support cruiser ambassador. So this will be helpful for us to keep when we get our Admiralty unlocked, which will be in 3 short levels. We also get a Yesterday's Enterprise uniform and a rather large amount of dilithium. So we have accepted it, and now I'm going to transwarp to the location. Alrighty, and begin. Captain, Starfleet Command reports that a space-time anomaly has been seen in this area of space. With the Tholian activity in this region, they wanted us to check it out and see what we can learn. I have it on sensor, sir. Locking in coordinates now. So we are to investigate the anomaly. There it is, right ahead of us. That was odd. I'm no longer detecting anything in front of us, but I'm picking up a similar or possibly the same anomaly at a new location. I've updated the coordinates on the map. Again, investigate the anomaly. It happened again. The anomaly has jumped to a new location. It can't keep doing this forever, sir. We just need to get close enough for a sensor sweep. Alright, anomaly is holding steady at the current location. We scan it and... oh, what happened? That's odd. But we're not freighter captain. What's going on here? This is very, very strange. Check in with Franklin, but Franklin...
Do you have a question? Thank you, Captain. The Tholian Assembly appreciates your loyalty. So many ship captains threw away their lives needlessly in the days after they annexed this area of space. It'll take a few hours to offload your cargo. Feel free to grab a hot meal in the commissary. I know that comforts can be hard to come by in this sector. I recommend the plomeek soup. It almost tastes like something.
Find something to eat in the commissary.
Do you need anything else?
And let's go to the commissary. There is, of course, an accolade for talking to everybody. You'll find members of your crew in here and find they have alternate lives. So do you, have you been in other work camps in this sector? And you see they've got other lives. So I'm going to actually, you'll find others in here like this would be Detan, I believe. Yep. Who is head of New Romulus.
For all I know, you could be informing on me to the Tholians. But if I don't answer, you'll probably tell them I'm hiding something. Fine. My name is Detan. I was born on Romulus. After the war, I signed on to a freighter crew working the Bolian run. My captain got in trouble with the Tholians, and I ended up here. I'm a true and loyal servant of the Tholians, and I don't want any trouble. Now go away and leave me alone. I have work to do. Don't bother me.
See, Detan seems very scared. And you'll find others in here who have different stories. I'm not going to talk to them all, but we are going to go to the commissary and find something to eat. Alright, so since I can still scan the tetrazine gas. There we go. And we'll go to the commissary, get food.
I haven't seen you around here before, Captain.
And we're going to talk to this guy.
Got a minute to talk? I know. I asked around about you, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling you this, but I need your help. You're not supposed to be here. None of us are. Not in this timeline, I mean. My ship, my crew, we were supposed to do something important. We went through an anomaly, moved through time, and everything changed. We tried to go back. I guess the battle with the Klingons disrupted the anomaly. Instead of getting back where we belong, we ended up here with the Tholians running everything. I'd never even seen a Tholian before. You have to help us set things right. You have to help us get back to our ship.
What are you talking about? Who is us?
Me and my crew. There are a little over 100 of us here, scattered throughout the work camp. We're about 65 years ahead of where we should be, according to my math. We were fighting the Romulans. This was back in 2344. And the weapons discharges caused a temporal rift. We passed through, and because we weren't at Narendra to do what we were supposed to do, the timeline changed. We ended up in a timeline where the Federation and the Klingon Empire were at war, and the Federation was losing, badly. We tried to go back to set things right, but then the Klingons found us and the Enterprise D, and there's someone here with us from that timeline. Her name is Tasha. I'll take you to her. Maybe she can help explain this.
Lead on. So we have to follow Castillo. I love how they make him walk so much slower than your lowest pace, so that you have to. There we go. Here's Tasha.
We need your help.
Looks like they've been reworking her face a bit.
I'm from Starfleet, and if I'm right, that's a name that should ring bells with you as well. In an alternate timeline from this one, the correct one, Starfleet is still alive and well, and you're a Starfleet officer too. When the Enterprise C moved ahead in time, it created an alternate timeline, one in which I was alive but shouldn't have been. I left with the Enterprise to set things right. We thought we were returning to the Narendra system in 2344 to defend the Klingon colony there from a Romulan attack. We ended up in this nebula in 2409. The Tholians caught us before we could try again, and you can guess the rest. We're going to try to restore the timeline, but to do so, we need the Enterprise C. It's still in the hangar here, and as soon as we get back to her, we'll find the temporal rift and get back to where and when we're supposed to be. To do that, we need your help.
Count me in. What do you need me to do?
Franklin Drake is already helping us. He managed to get an access key used to operate the systems in the hangar control room. We need you to get the code from Drake and use it to open the doors to the hangar control room. I'd go myself, but we've already been here a week. The Tholians know we're trying to get back to the ship, They're watching us. But you're new. They won't suspect you're involved. That's the idea, at least. Of course, it's not as simple as getting the code and opening the door. The Tholians have guards on all critical areas. You'll need to slip past the guards and get into the maintenance tunnels. From there, it's a winding maze to the hangar control room, which can only be unlocked from the inside. Once you get in, you'll be able to open the doors. We'll be waiting there to help you free the Enterprise.
I'll do it. What next?
Here, take this communicator. It's on a scrambled frequency the Tholians don't monitor, and it'll allow me to contact you while you're on the move. Maybe you can convince someone to cause a distraction. That might make slipping past the guards into the tunnels easier.
Convince someone to create a distraction. Okay, so I'm supposed to convince somebody to create a distraction after I get the key from Franklin Drake. I do want to check where is my temporal probe, if there is one in this mission. Oh, have one I forgot to claim. Look at that. Okay, so I did find out that when you reach level 50, you get 300 marks in every reputation. So I'm going to go ahead and start claiming another type of mark, and that's going to be temporal marks. So temporal marks, accept. Answer that private message. There we go. Alright, so temporal marks, and that gets me started with that. And now moving right along. Need to go back to Franklin Drake. Who is through here, and we'll take this. I like taking the shortcut.
Do you have a question?
Yar and Castillo said you have a key for me.
Take it. Here's a map, too. You'll need it in the tunnels. I'm not working with the big picture here, but my records say that you're a temporal refugee from the 23rd century. Yar and Castillo are stranded out of time, too. Maybe together, you can put back something resembling a time worth living in.
So he did mention temporal refugee from the 23rd century, so that's something new.
Do you need anything else?
Alright, so that's all I need. And I'm going to convince someone. Oops. Almost forgot I was going to check. I got distracted. Okay. Temporal Ambassador. Find, investigate temporal probe in Temporal Ambassador. And it says it is... Where is it? Investigate temporal probe in the Azure Nebula in Temporal Ambassador. Okay. So I may have to end up starting it over again. To find it, yay! That's what I get for not checking it right away. Alright, so I have the key, and now I need to convince somebody to create a distraction. So I'm going to go back to the mess hall, and if I remember rightly, because I'm Federation, end up talking to this guy. He is the current captain of the Enterprise.
I don't remember the Federation, or Starfleet. The war was almost over before I was born. This is the only life I know. One of servitude, deprivation, loss. I want something better. That freedom my parents and grandparents told me about. I want the Federation back. I'll help. Just tell me what you need.
And of course, if you're a KDF, you'll find a KDF officer. That will be the one that you have to ask for help. Alright, so you're going to tell them what you need. And I wait for the diversion.
Get down here, you big salt shaker! This food isn't fit for dogs. Let's rumble!
Alright, so he doesn't see me. I use diversion. And there we go. And I'm in, and now I go to the maintenance tunnel. I should be crawling through there, but okay.
Well done. Those maintenance tunnels are a maze. They make navigating the Jeffries tubes on the Enterprise look easy. I recommend using the map to keep track of where you've been, what doors lead away from which room, and where you are currently.
Navigate the maintenance tunnels. Use the map button in the lower right corner of your screen to check your progress. View hand-drawn map. So we're going to be using, this is going to be our map. And you can see I have one corridor leading off to the right, one leading off to the left. There is an accolade for completing the map. So I'm going to eventually go to every option. Okay. So let's go this way first. Just for the heck of it. And now I'm going to see which way that was. There we go. That was left on my map. Okay. Now the only way is to go this way. Oh.
There are Tholians in the control room. When they're in there, they pump in a Tholian-friendly atmosphere and raise the temperature. It will kill us if we try to enter. You'll need to replace the methane-based atmosphere with something we can breathe and lower the ambient temperature in the control room before we can continue as planned.
So find consoles in the maintenance tunnel and use them to replace the atmosphere and lower the temperature in the control room. And why would the Tholians put a system in that place that could create a hostile environment for them?
The Tholians are very precise. They want to learn everything they can about the ships they're capturing. All rooms connected to the hangars have their atmospheres exchanged to prevent damage to the systems they're dismantling for study. Also, sometimes they force humanoids to do the work for them, so they'll pump in something we can handle.
Makes sense. There's a crate in here, so I'm going to search it. And I got an accolade, temporal treasure hunting. And this is now a dead end, so I'm going to go back. And you can see it shows a dead end on the map. Alright, so I'm going to go back 2 rooms back the way we came. And of course, this is the pin in the butt. Now I want to go this way. So if I view my hand-drawn map, there we go. And I need to keep moving forward. In this case, north. Alright. And now it shows that I can move either way. So I'm going to turn and go east. Or sorry, west. Hope if I knew my directions. Yay! So this is one of the consoles we were talking about. And this lets me change the atmosphere in the control room. And I can create an oxygen-based atmosphere now. Yay! Alright. So I view a hand-drawn map. Now I can go north or south. Let's see. Let's go this way. This was south. Alright, and now I want to go west again. That's this way. And this allows me to lower the temperature. Yay. Now these things come in, they appear randomly, so they're not always going to be in the same locations on the map. As you can see, there we go. And the Tholians are keeling over dead, which is what I want. Okay. And I want to continue east. So here we go. There we go. Yes. And now I can turn. And even though I know this is going to be a dead end, I'm going to follow it anyway. Ah, yay. This gives me another accolade. If I examine the corpse, I get he's dead Jim. Who's Jim? And I get an accolade, dead Jim. When I view my hand-drawn map, I've completed the bottom half. So now I need to go back up and I will be able to complete the next portion. And this way. And that puts me here. So now I need to make a turn and go this way. There we go. And of course the only way I can go now is this way. And if I view the hand-drawn map, okay, so I do want to have to go back and complete this portion up here before I continue. I know this seems a bit silly, but we want to make sure that we've covered all of our bases and found everything. Believe this way. Wrong way. This is why we check all the time. And come on, this. There we go. And up. Alright. Now, I believe if I go this way. Alright. There we go. And now we can continue the opposite way to fill in the rest of our map. There we go. And, ooh, the wisest Tribble. Elder Tribble, please share your wisdom. The Tribble coos for a moment and then rolls gently toward you looking for food. You realize you're talking to a Tribble. Maybe you've been in these exit tunnels too long. Or maybe it's the gas fumes. You can see the gas fumes right here. And we exit. And we get, of course, another accolade. Wisest Tribble. And if we look at the hand-drawn map, there we are. So we're going to go back before we find our way. And we want to turn here. This gets very confusing. Go straight for another one. And and turn here. Right turn, Clyde. And of course, we turn again. And we're going to follow this up. Make sure we're going the correct way. Yes, sir. Doggies come back. And here we go. And we're now going to be following up to a new map. And there's our accolade. Everyone remember where we parked. I think sometimes they had some fun with this. Okay, there we go. And now we unlock the control room door. And this lets in all of our friends.
All major systems are still operational. Good.
Okay, so we're talk to Yar.
We don't have much time.
Alright, so here's the thing. There's another accolade for assigning everybody to the
I know
wrong
a few
things.
tricks to take that tractor beam system offline. I'm also fairly confident that with enough time, I can release the docking clamps holding the ship or take down the Tholian's web shielding.
Okay, so she says she can get the tractor beam offline, so we're not going to assign her to that. She says she can release the docking clamps, so we're not going to do that. And she says she can take down the Tholian web shielding, so we're not going to assign her to that. So that means we're going to have her restoring the ship's power levels. It seems silly, but you know.
I am here to assist. What do you require?
What's
My
your
first
specialty?
posting in Starfleet was to an Ambassador-class vessel. I am familiar with most of the ship's systems, but I spent several months working on a refit of the ship's computer. I am confident I can restore the ship's power levels quickly. Also, I do have some experience with Tholian technology from my time in the Resistance. If you prefer, I could attempt to deactivate the web shield or tractor beams. I am
Okay.
here to assist.
So
What do you
she did
require?
not mention docking clamps. That's what she's
Power
doing.
siphon is disconnected.
Alright, so now talk
we
to
need to work
Castillo.
together. What do you want? I was the helm officer on the Enterprise before everything went to hell. But I'm really handy with heavy machinery, like those clamps holding the ship. I know I can take care of those and get us free. If you need me to do something else, maybe I could work on that web shield. It will need to come down before we can fly out of here. Or the ship's power. I know every inch of the old girl. If I could figure out the Tholian interface, I might be able to connect to the ship. We need to work together.
Okay,
What do you
so
want me to do?
he did not mention the Tholian web shielding. So that leaves me
Reinitializing warp drive.
to do the last one. Alright. So everybody is working on their task. I've got the tractor beams down,
Power levels are
and we
returning
just
to
need
normal.
to wait. They will accomplish their task. It will take a little longer because it's not their specialty, but you will get a accolade for assigning them to the wrong thing, which I always thought was quite funny. Doo-doo-doo. Hey, there's my temporal probe. Good thing I saw it. Didn't say anything about my temporal probe being here. Interesting. Oh, there it is. Alright, good work. Yay! Okay, 8 plus 4 is 12. That means the A is 3. 1 plus 5 is 6. That means B is 9. And again, playing a lot of cribbage really helps here. 7 plus 2 is 9. That means C has to be a 6. There we go. And unlock. The information in this probe is enormous. It seems to point to some kind of temporal war, one between the now defunct Federation and the Nakul. The Nakul seem to have won. The Federation, after all, is long gone. The Nakul records indicate that in a different timeline, their home star system was destroyed by the Tholians with the aid of a futuristic device, but without the Federation, that device was never invented, and thus it was never taken to the past. Make a copy of the data, for whatever it's worth. If this gambit works, this timeline will never exist. Ah! She got me! Oh my goodness, I'm way out of whack.
You cannot win, Tholian!
Wow, I have to go through the maintenance tunnels again. I'm all cut off. Should be crawling in there, man. Okay, so let's try this. View hand-drawn map. Okay. So it looks like it puts us straight. Let me see here. Okay. This is where I need to be. Okay. And go forward. It looks like if I follow this symbol, be okay. And be willing to bet that is the case here. Let me see my hand-drawn map. Yep, went too far. And okay, turn again. Because I'm not worried about getting accolades. Really does not matter. Yep. So we're trying to get to the other end as quickly as possible. There we go. And I want to turn. Make sure I'm still, yes, going the right. There we go. La-di-da-di-da. And this should be Yay, that was fast. Okay. So I should have been given credit. Let me double check. Yes, I was given credit. Alright. So you see my guys have finished their task, and we are now moving on. Head to ship. There is somewhere in here, if you go, there's force fields. Oh no! And Tasha Yar says, I thought you deactivated all the force fields. There is an accolade somewhere near this area for looking from stem to stern of the ship. Sometimes it can be a bit of a hassle to get it, so I'm just going to move on. Going to lower the force field. Ah, there it is. Now you see me. Okay. I am quite glad they took out the audio for this. It was a bit annoying, but it still pops up with her having trouble. You do know that we could have Tholians swarming us any minute, right? It was just a tad annoying. No offense to Denise Crosby, she did a good job writing or saying the line she was given. But, yeah. We've taken down the, there we go. Now, this is where the mission takes a turn I'm not sure I always enjoy. We do get to fly the Ambassador class, but the NCC 1701C. However, we don't get to put our normal weapons on it, and we don't get to put our normal bridge officers on it, and it kind of sucks the way it's set up as far as not being able to have our normal things. So you can see here my bar is all kinds of nuts. I am going to go ahead and try to put on some things, but you see I've got attack pattern delta, which I really don't like, but I do have some of my other things. I might be able to get my at least bridge officer abilities here. Let me see. Nope, it does not give me a choice. So I have to live with what I got, which I'm not always too happy with. I don't like the tractor beam, I'm not going to use that. Polarized hull, charged photonic shockwave I can deal with. These I can deal with. Okay. Ramming speed I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of these because I'm not planning on using them. Okay. Not planning on using those either, so I'm going to get rid of those. Put my evasive maneuvers where I like. And oh, tactical fleet, it's back. Take that off. There we go. Okay. So, as you can see, I don't get all the abilities that I like, but at least I do get something. So I'm going to put my fire at will. I'm going to put my delta just in case I'm able to actually use it. There we go. I am going to put photonic shockwave. I'm just going to put it in there because for this is the only time I'm going to use this ship. Okay, I'll set it off as often as I can. That's fine with me. Directed energy modulation, again, I'll set off as often as I can. For this, again, for this ship only, I'll put my tactical fleet in there. It'll give me a nice little buff. I'll put go down fighting in just in case I actually get to use it. I will put attack pattern alpha in. And again, this is just for this fight. I'll put fire on my mark. I'll put in, just in case my hull goes below 50%, I will also put in my 2 things there. And I'll put in that for some hull healing. Okay. Now, this is my normal thing here. This is a nice hull heal, I'll put it here. This is, I might use it. This is a no crap for my shields. This is a no crap for my shields. And that's for my hull. Alright, so this is a semi-decent setup, at least livable. Alright, so it does utilize, and I'm going to put these on auto fire. And even though I'm only using it for a short time, I'm still going to set it up with my preferred power levels. Why? Because you should always do that. Anyway, any ship that you get, just get in the habit of doing it. There we go. Alright, so I'm now as ready as I'll ever be for battle. Lock that again. Okay. Now, moving forward. There are the Tholian Meshweavers. Says I do need to defeat them, so I'm going to head over there. Because I'm a nice big cruiser, I want a broadside. There we go. Okay, I've defeated one group. Or almost one group. There we go. Alright, so I have defeated a good portion of them. It's now gone into a cutscene. We have a friend.
We took a hit. Phasers are partially offline. We'll need to work together to take out this last ship.
Alright, so we're taking out the last ship. Alright, so I have... There we go, we've defeated everything.
The way is clear, and the temporal anomaly has been stabilized. Head for the Anomaly, Enterprise. It will put you back where you need to be.
Who are you? How do you know where we need to be?
That's my job. The details aren't important. Restoring the timeline is. Get moving. The Tholians are already starting to regroup.
Thanks for your help. Setting a course now. So we fly to the Anomaly as quickly as we can. There we go. We fly through and whoosh. Where am I? What am I doing here?
I'm sure you've realized by now, you're part of a very different timeline. This one is an aberration that we are here to correct. It would be irresponsible of us to let you go back in time with the Enterprise C, and compromise that timeline as well.
What are you going to do with me then?
We'll send you back to your time. There are still some very important events in the 25th century that you need to be a part of.
So how do I get back?
As soon as the Enterprise C returns to its correct place in history, the timeline should right itself.
And here we go. Back in my own ship. Scan for the anomaly, and... That's strange, sir. I thought I had something on sensors, but it's gone. Everything is quiet. No Tholians or other ships within range. And the anomaly Starfleet Command wanted us to investigate isn't here either. We can depart the system on your orders, sir. So, departing system. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. And there we go. Temporal Ambassador complete. Let's turn
There
in the
wasn't
mission.
anything there? That's strange.
Congratulations on restoring the timeline and assuring that the USS Enterprise C maintained its proper place in history. You will receive an Ambassador-class ship of your own. And so we receive the following reward. And there we go.
Congratulations, Admiral.
And we have now received level 50 and are getting a hail from Admiral Quinn. I'll accept the promotion.
You've proven yourself to be invaluable to Starfleet and earned the respect of your fellow officers. Return to Earth's space dock. I would like to formally recognize your contributions to the Federation.
All right. So, tune in for the next episode, which will be preparing our level 50 starship. And I will see you then. This has been Teacher Kirby Playthrough. We'll accept that mission. Alright. See you next time.